this is going on everywhere. This isn't just localized to one particular area. They're all nuts.
Screw Jason Pizzo. You know what? I've always been kind of neutral about him. I mean, he's neither here nor there. He's very political. He's very kisses babies and all the right things. He is. He's very smooth. And so whatever, but I never really had an issue with him. But now he's bragging about some sort of meeting of the minds with Randy Fine. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Of all the people the name that you're going to invoke.
Good. And the only reason I talked about just such an opportunist in terms of, you're changing parties now. And what does that have to do with the free speech issue? Because from where I'm standing, Democrats and Republicans are equally as abhorrent on free speech. So I don't know why he would bother leaving the Democrats. They're cracking down on speech every bit. Our Democrats pushed for that ridiculous resolution that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, which I'm also getting to the point with this where, you know what? Let's assume for shits and giggles that all of these encampments were anti-Semitic. Let's say they were all anti-Semitic. Let's say all these encampments were, and as long as there's no violence, but all of these encampments were holding up signs saying, yeah, fuck the Jews. We hate the Jews. Jews suck, whatever. Let's say all of their stuff was anti-Semitic speech.
Well, has nobody ever,
I don't care. That's the thing.
Story about Skokie. It's the same thing.
Exactly. That's what's so frustrating is you're sitting here hearing these presidents of universities be questioned about whether or not certain behavior is anti-Semitic when that's a non-starter. I don't care if their behavior is anti-Semitic. People are allowed to be anti-Semites. They are. We're allowed to be hateful, mean people. We are in our minds. We're allowed to. We're allowed to think all sorts of hateful stuff. We're allowed to say all sorts of hateful stuff. And I am so sick and tired of people playing the anti-Semite card, especially when it's fucking white Ashkenazi Jews that are throwing out anti-Semitism. And I'm like, you moron, you're not a Semite. The level of ignoramus is so large with these people, but it's really more their level of entitlement that's infuriating. Because I don't care that they don't like it, and I don't care that they're uncomfortable. I don't like hate speech. That's not what I want to be hanging around. I'm not hanging out with those people, but they're allowed to say it. They're allowed to think it. They're allowed to say it. They're allowed to make giant banners. They could take out billboards saying, screw the Jews. We hate the Jews. Okay. That's the whole point of free speech. If it was all rainbows and unicorns, we wouldn't need a whole law about it. Now, would we? I find it infuriating. I'm so angry. I'm at 12 on the Rage-O-Meter right now.
Skokie, Illinois has one of the oldest Jewish populations in the country. It is a substantially large population. They've been there a long time. Every year on Hitler's birthday, I believe it's Hitler's birthday, neo-Nazis march in the streets of Skokie.
I've said it a million times. I like to know who my bigots are. Yeah. But more than that, it's just people are throwing out this. We have got to stop allowing the weaponization of people claiming anti-Semitism. So what we should do is just say, okay, all right. Yeah. So let's assume all of those people are anti-Semitic that are marching. Let's assume they're all anti-Semitic. So they're allowed to be. That's what people that's what seems to be getting lost here. People are allowed to hate Jews. They are. They're allowed to hate Black people. They're allowed to hate Muslim people. They're allowed to hate whoever the hell they want to hate and say so. And the fact that people find that uncomfortable, that's their problem.
Well, that's a first world upper middle class type.
I just find it so frustrating. Honestly, people,
watching those two Jewish girls at Columbia the other day with the tears in their eyes. They want to kill us. It's like, you will not survive this world.
You're not talking about the girl that they were actually chasing down and going after.
Not at all. Not the girl with the keffiyeh on. I'm talking about, and how
dare Pizzo, exactly.
And the way, and he knows the word is keffiyeh. And of course he botches it on purpose to basically make it seem like I'm gonna grab it for a second. I'm just gonna pull it up.
I don't think people realize the incredible that terrorize kids in my district. Are your brow, but you show up here with a keffiyeh.
A keffiyeh?
Oh my God.
That's on purpose. There's no way he doesn't know what the word is. It's not possible. He knows the word.
But again, it's so, why are they so, For a while, I actually thought maybe I had a certain amount of concern as to why they find it so threatening. But let's say, for example, this was threatening and all over it said, "We hate Jews." I'm still allowed to wear it. And I'm allowed to think that, and I'm allowed to say it, and I'm allowed to put out signs with that on it. And that's what's so frustrating. And we're skipping over that very important point. While we're sitting there defending what is and what isn't anti-Semitic, what I suggest is it's irrelevant to the discussion. We're allowed to be anti-Semites. We are.
Yeah.
We are. Yeah. I'm not, but we could be. I mean, I'm allowed to be if I want to be.
Anything to do with them, but that's their choice.
I'm anti Ashkenazi Zio. I'm completely anti Ashkenazi Zio.
Either we have laws or we don't. If you like Jen ranting out of her mind, make sure you get over get over to patreon.com/generational change for as little as $5 a month. You can become a supporter of our small but mighty channel. If you are so inclined, you can also contribute via YouTube as a super chat contributor. And then, of course, we also have Cash App, still $Jen Change. Teresa, thank you so much for the $10. It's always appreciated.
People can also make a one-time donation on our Patreon as well.
Yes. And I did run the names already, so you're not going to get me on that one. Kimmy, thank you so much for the $3.99 super sticker as well. Well, and again, please make sure. And Yin Yang Eclipse wants you to know, full option, we need it.
You have no idea. Like, and especially now, like, so I'm listening to, and unfortunately, Huey P. Newton is no longer alive, so the audiobook is not him, but I'm listening to right now Revolutionary Suicide, and I cannot tell you how inspiring it is.